Welcome to First Issue Club, your weekly comic book reading club in the form of a podcast. How about that?
TGIFIC. You may have noticed we've moved.
A whole 2 damn days down the week.
And you all were furious, and you let us know about it.
It's payday.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect day to learn about new comics to spend your money on.
It's the precursor to the weekend. Everyone's working for it.
If we sound like a well-oiled machine, it's because we're recording on Groundhog's Day. This is the 6th time we've been through it.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we get to February 3rd and get out of the loop.
Bill Murray just left.
It's cold out here every day. What is this, Miami Beach? It's also, we're recording on another important day as well.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mike D.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday to you.
I appreciate it. You know what my favorite happy birthday song is? I think it's
Happy birthday
Yes.
to you.
Who is that? Is that Stevie Wonder?
I don't know, but it is a peppy jingle.
That's a goddamn good birthday song.
Beyonce did one too.
Really?
She does a version of Happy Birthday that is a fucking banger.
Birthday.
To ya. Yes, just singing it makes you happy.
I prefer the Marilyn Monroe sexy version. Happy birthday, Mr. President.
I still think the funniest take on that is when Dave Chappelle was just like, my wife is here. You cannot sing like that to me. That is the funniest thing about pop culture is that little Happy Birthday is forever embedded into our zeitgeist as a sexy Happy Birthday song.
God, it's so weird. We must sexualize everything.
Yeah, why not? I mean, the last frontier was Happy Birthday. No one knew how to do it. And then Marilyn was like, step back, everybody.
I think if there's like one part of your body that you're like, this will never get objectified, it was probably feet. And now there's like...
Nope. Then Quentin Tarantino was just like, well, now, wait a minute.
Is he a foot guy?
Have you ever seen his movies?
It's rumored that he is because
Really?
feet are featured
Oh, he gets good
in a lot of shots.
feet shots. Okay. Ugh.
Yeah. Uma Thurman had some feet shots. And
Every movie, man.
Yeah.
Every single movie. Once upon a time in Hollywood, she had them gross, dirty piggies on the windshield.
those stinky hippie feet.
Yeah.
Ugh, no one is safe.
Well, anyway, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Another year around the sun.
Yes.
Are you upset that you have to share it with Groundhog's Day?
Nah, it's a fun little quirk thing. A lot of people remember my birthday because of it.
It always trips me up because you have a twin sister.
Yep.
And her birthday
It's February 1st.
is not today.
Yeah, right.
You were magically born around midnight-ish.
Over midnight, yeah. She was delivered first. I was delivered right after midnight.
Did that silence of a lot of fights and arguments around birthday time between you two? You didn't have to share a birthday?
I think it probably did. I think that was a great just happenstance.
Yeah.
She had her own special day. I had mine.
To all parents out there that are having twins, make sure you do it around midnight.
If you think this couldn't get any crazier, my dad's birthday is January 31st.
Oh, wow.
So 3 birthdays in a row.
When's your mom's birthday?
Doesn't have one. Can't afford
March. Her birthday's March.
Oh.
So 3 months in a row? I don't know.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
She
just
gets-
close to mine
she
because
gets
mine's March
left out.
5th.
Yeah, hers is the 8th.
Oh, yeah. So
Yep.
So you guys, like, Thanksgiving rolls around and it's just, like, nonstop, huh?
Yep.
present after present after present.
Seriously.
I can't stop gaining weight until after my birthday because it's
Until
just
about
like
May.
Yeah.
Dude, that's rough times.
Yep. Even St. Patrick's Day is always like that for me. I always end up eating so shitty on St. Patrick's Day
All the corned beef and
because
hash.
it's like,
Dude.
and you
them
just want to
Scotch
like
eggs.
sop up all the beer with just like pizza and any carbs you can get your hands on. So you're just not picky because you're gross drunk.
Yeah. I think the drunkest I've been, obviously, has been St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And we went to a place that's no longer here in Kansas City that is now like a seafood restaurant, but it served like breakfast food on the main strip by Westport.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember eating so much eggs and like hash browns,
Yeah.
completely wasted, that there's a very memorable St. Patrick's Day because I threw up
Yuck.
right outside the restaurant.
Ugh. Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on. Welcome to the podcast where we talk about comic books.
Should I talk about my comic book birthday spoils, or should we save that for the Patreon?
Your choice. You're the birthday boy. I took a video of what you bought and put it on the Patreon exclusive Twitter feed.
Let's save it for the Patreon.
Okay. If you want to know what Mike T got for his birthday, head on over to the Patreon.
Yep.
Patreon.com/First Issue Club
That's right.
for all the spoils.
Any comic book news to hash out? I feel like we had a we got an extra 2 days of news having pushed our podcast
Yeah.
to Friday too.
And I'm glad we did, because
Yeah.
we would have missed James Gunn coming out and dropping absolute bombs for his new DCU lineup. And ladies and gentlemen listening, there are some dynamite hits out there.
Oh, yeah.
The one that stands out the most to me is the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
That was my pick for best graphic novel this past year in our best of episode.
Yep.
Which I felt like was a cheating pick because it's just a collected. It wasn't like written as an original graphic novel. But man, that book was so fucking good.
Yeah, and I think James Gunn, being the director that he is, will stick with the hyperviolence and
Yeah.
revenge story.
Right.
We've always classified it as like a John Wick Supergirl story. There's even a dog in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm super excited to see that. Swamp Thing is
Dude.
coming,
Yeah.
which no one saw that coming.
No. I mean, me and 10K,
Yeah.
super stoked.
I mean, after the debacle with the TV show, which
Gone too soon.
and I never watched the TV show on HBO.
It was good.
I heard it was fantastic.
It was. It
and it
really
just got
was.
canned too quickly.
Did
Did they take it off? Is it still on there?
I don't know.
I heard that some of the DC things have been disappearing off of HBO Max.
I bought it on Blu-ray because I was like, I have to preserve
Oh,
this.
nice.
Like,
Yeah.
I have
Physical
to, I
media.
have to own it.
Sick.
Yeah.
A Brave and Bold,
Mm-hmm.
which is Batman and Damian
Yeah.
as Robin,
Yeah.
which is cool, but also suggests that Nightwing exists in the DCU that James Gunn is building.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Logic dictates.
am kind of hoping that by them steering intentionally away from calling it like Batman and Son. That's I mean, that would be the low-hanging fruit for that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the, whatever. I am kind of hoping they pull a bait and switch and just Bruce Wayne is not Batman in this. And they pull it straight from Grant Morrison
Oh.
and have Dick Grayson be
yeah.
Batman.
Holy shit.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't it? Because then you could set up the whole, like, Bruce Wayne coming back from the dead. You just pre-murder him,
Mm-hmm.
and just have him come back from the dead or something.
And if you got Damien, you're going to be dealing with Lazarus pits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
The only thing we
Talia
know about it
al
is that it is Damien is Robin.
Yep.
He had confirmed that.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He said Damien specifically was his favorite Robin, so
Yes.
he was excited to bring him to the screen.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay. So yeah. So that's gonna be coming out.
Yep.
A Superman story that isn't an origin story.
Uh-huh.
That is, I think, based off of All-Star Superman.
It's, what did he say? Batman, Superman Legacy is the name of the movie. Is that
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are throwing around the All-Star Superman thing, which
Which is
Has
kind of
all-
revered as like a current masterpiece of a Superman story.
that's what I've always said they should do. Like,
Mhm.
if you don't know how to make a Superman movie, just make All-Star Superman.
The one thing James Gunn did was like totally speak the language of the fans. Like
Yeah.
he's plucking from comic book stories that everyone really likes.
Yeah.
Every beat was like, that's exciting, the direction we're going. He gave a whole kind of like a whole recap on like what is going to exist outside of this new connected universe and what's going to be inside it.
Right.
That things are going to start being labeled as Elseworld.
Which
If-
that's the first time that term has been used.
So great.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited for this.
Yeah.
Because this is something that we've talked about on Debates on Tap a lot. Is like, it seems like such a no-brainer to just do that, right? Just like give it a label, whether it's during the studio sequence, DC Studios, Elseworlds, right? Like, and then just let it be whatever movie it's gonna be, right?
Yeah, completely. And I think it's really cool that there's going to be animated series that'll
Yeah.
be part of the canon as well.
and have character crossovers.
Yeah, he said they're going to try to get the voice actors from the cartoons to play the characters in the movies.
Which is kind of what Marvel intended to do with What If. There was some,
Yeah.
actors they couldn't get, which, it's fine. But I mean, it speaks to what you were saying about James Gunn taking a page from Marvel of just like how to build the hype machine, how to make sure the hype machine stays on track and keep people interested. And he's taking all of those beats and making it finally work for DC currently at this moment. We'll see as the train keeps going down the track what happens.
We're kind of saying, like, so DC's obviously owning comic book news this week, but it's still as baller as a move as it was for him to just get on Twitter and very, like, plainly state, like, here's what's happening, no confusion, here's what to expect over the next 3 years. I did kind of feel like they shot their wad like a little early on, because normally you make a big event or a to-do out of it, or you announce things at different Comic-Cons and things that. But I guess going forward to all the conventions, they've got like casts to announce. And
That's what it is, yeah.
all those sort of things that'll keep people excited.
Cast, directors, teasers, all kinds of shit.
I think it's a smart move too, though. They're trying to avoid, I think, a situation that Marvel has gotten themselves into in the past, where like, oh, we've announced this movie and now we just let it gestate out there, so people start speculating and getting their hopes up and getting all this stuff out there. And like, no, here's what we're doing. Here's how it's going to move forward.
Yep.
At least the titles. Okay, now there's a Swamp Thing. All right, fan cast, whatever. Speculate on what runs we're going to pull from.
It helps the conversation and the hype build.
Yeah.
But
it's not so far out that like the whole Inhumans thing, where it was like this Inhumans movie is slotted for this year. And then it's like, let's move it 3 years out. Well, let's do a TV show first. The TV show was bad. Let's scrap the movie.
Yeah.
Let's hope everyone forgets about this.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. All that stuff. It kind of helps wrangle it in. And I think if you're DC, you want to make that announcement as soon as possible so that the Snyder people like shut the hell up.
Yeah.
You don't want those people like owning the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it begins to be like not to veer this towards sports, but like the Bengals were talking a lot of trash, and they lost to the Chiefs, and now they look like stupid heads. The Snyder folks were just talking a bunch of trash because nothing had come out yet from James Gunn,
right?
And then James Gunn came out and just dropped it all, and there was a swarm of support from basically everyone on every social media platform of just like, this sounds badass.
Yeah.
We don't need an origin story for Batman or Superman because we know who they are.
Yeah.
And they finally have gotten that into their heads that they don't need to do an origin story. And so I think you're right. I think they just learned from their mistakes, and it's only roses from here. I'm crossing my fingers for DC fans.
Yeah.
Clarify this for me. It sounds like, so I know that Robert Pattinson Batman was going to get another movie.
Yes.
As far as I know, that's still happening.
Correct. Yes, he's in the Elseworld.
And it's considered an Elseworld Batman thing.
And
so they could just keep on keeping on with that if they want. Okay.
Yeah.
And so is the two he specifically mentioned were that and Todd Phillips' Joker.
Okay.
Yeah.
The second Joker movie.
That's right. I forgot about a second Joker movie.
Yeah. That is specifically Elseworld.
Yeah. That's their black label.
Yeah.
The Todd Phillips Joker.
Yeah.
I think about a lot of my friends and family who just like casually keep track of like fun action movies and how confusing some of the Marvel stuff is for them. And the idea of there being
3 Batman movies at once.
3 different like Batman movies and 3 different Bruce Waynes. Everyone's going to be like, what the hell? I think they're calling those things Elseworld for now because they were already in production or too much money has gone into them already.
Yeah.
But there's no way they make a third Robert Pattinson Batman movie, I don't think.
If it makes money,
unless
they 100%
Unless
will.
the second one is like gets amazing reviews and does great.
The first one did really well.
Well, the first one was like mid-COVID, wasn't it?
Not mid-COVID.
No, was it towards
came
the
out.
end?
It came out like last year.
didn't.
Yeah. So into COVID, post-COVID.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like it kind of quietly came out, and then there wasn't much of like a conversation or discourse surrounding it, which is a bad thing.
I think that the reason though is because it was good enough.
Yeah.
And so the conversation
just
was
good enough,
Yeah,
yeah.
so the conversation was okay.
That was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it didn't blow anybody away, and it didn't suck.
Yeah.
So everyone on Twitter didn't have anything to fuel the fire with besides of just like, yeah, okay, it was good.
I think the other thing too is like, specifically with Batman, it would be insanely easy to make like Robert Pattinson Batman and then have mainstream DC in continuity Batman be a 180 tonally,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So you've got dark, gritty, detective Batman
Mm-hmm.
living in his own world, and then you've got kind of like Zoom Pow, shark repellent
Yeah.
Batman. Not that, zany, but like something, it's more colorful, it's
Yeah.
more energetic, it's more,
It would also be fun if you do their new Batman movies, their new All-Star Superman-esque movie, and then if they do decide to do a Crisis on Infinite Earths type thing to bring Henry Cavill back and to
As Batman?
as
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking
and
about.
Ben Affleck as Superman.
Tell
And
me
then-
you wouldn't watch that.
And then you could do Robert Pattinson all in like a big,
Yeah.
wild Universal crossover thing.
And I think they're trying to do that a little bit with the Flash movie that they're still going ahead with.
How cool would it be? Or stupid.
Those walk us the
They
same
do
line.
walk- they do walk a thin line. If in the Robert Pattinson movies,
Yeah.
his Bruce Wayne gets super jaded and becomes the Bat Who Laughs.
Dope.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then enters into the other Batman's universe.
Dude, give me the Dark Knight's Metal movie
Yeah, right.
now.
Yeah.
A Dark
Yeah.
Knight Metal movie would be sick.
It would just be like Mad Max Fury Road,
Yeah,
essentially.
man.
Yeah, totally.
Give me that,
That sounds sick.
movie.
That's so. Oh, it'd be so over the top and cartoony that I think people would have fun with it, even if they didn't get the multiversal aspect of it.
Yeah.
Or what was the one of the same characters from that event, the Grim Knight? It was basically just like
I loved
Batman
the
with like a
Grim Knight.
subatomic machine gun.
He was almost like a Punisher-esque type character.
That dude fucking ripped.
That was really cool. That was really cool.
That could be Robert Pattinson in a heartbeat.
Yeah, give me all of that. And James, I know you're listening. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. He's a Patreon member as well.
Let me score this movie. Like, let me get the soundtrack for you.
Yeah, it's just gonna be all death metal.
Yeah, I mean that's what it has to be, right?
We'll get into more of the movies coming out over at the Patreon and what movies and what comics inspired them. There was a few other TV shows, like Amanda Waller's getting a TV show with it's in between Peacemaker season 1 and 2. Like that's the
Oh, interesting.
time frame it's set in, and so there's some other cool stuff to talk about. But we'll go into that over at the Patreon.
Yeah.
So if you want more of that discussion, go to patreon.com/First Issue Club. And for the price of a comic, you can get tons of episodes, tons of videos, and a picture of my butt cheeks. Probably not. But anyway, moving on. There are new Ninja Turtles in the Ninja Turtle verse. Have you guys heard about this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about
He's
this?
slipping into Jay Leno. Great Jay impression. I have not.
So if you haven't been reading, The Last Ronin was like a new series that came out that followed.
Kevin Eastman actually wrote this one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kevin Eastman is actually helping with the Lost Years, which is
Okay.
the the
Spin-off
sequel,
book?
the spinoff.
It's a prequel, right? I'm pretty sure.
No, it's actually post.
Is it?
In,
No, it can't be because of the way it ended.
the Last Ronin.
Yeah.
Well, The Last Ronin is a prequel to the Lost Years, from how I read it.
Okay.
Because
We would think with a title like The Lost Years, it would be like what happened in between.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what I mean.
maybe I read it wrong. Anyway,
Did you read Last Ronin?
no.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I know who dies, and I
Yeah.
know who's in it,
Yeah,
and I know who the last Ronin is.
yeah.
Were there new characters introduced in it? I mean, I
Yeah.
know we got
Was it these things?
April O'Neil's daughter
Correct.
was a very cool character.
Casey Jones.
May O'Neil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read them, but it's been like, what, a year and a half?
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Shouldn't have left you.
Without some dope turtles to step to. And that's what we're getting right now in the Lost Years. 4 new brothers and sisters, turtles,
Yeah.
anthropomorphized, taught martial arts in their misadventures that they go on.
Dope.
That actually came out on the 25th of January, the first issue.
Yeah.
Vargas, have you read it at all?
I've got it sitting on my pile, but I haven't read it.
I don't know if I'm going to like it. It sounds too unrealistic to me.
So,
Where'd they get more ooze?
well, the dark web. Probably.
So it's
You can find anything on dark
okay,
web
sure.
or eBay. And so, like, the names of the turtles, which I'm about to read, as
We
a
stick with the Renaissance theme?
no,
Okay. Yeah,
doesn't.
I'll let you finish.
no, I'm saying no because like
Let me
it
finish,
doesn't,
let me finish, let me
which
finish.
irks me as a turtle purist. I don't know. They could have gone for like impressionists or
They should have named them after modern artists.
Yeah.
Like, guys that are
Banksy. Get over here.
yeah, Jackson Pollock. Get over
Is
here.
a turtle purist a tourist?
Yeah, I'm a tourist.
You're a tourist, okay.
I'm a tourist. So the turtles' names are Odin, Yi, Moja, and Uno.
So
Sure.
no theme.
None that is popping out to me.
Right.
I don't know. If,
Are they all named after gods?
I don't know. I don't know many gods.
Is Uno a god?
I don't know. I mean, you got Odin and Ye.
What's yeah?
You know, Kanye.
Yeah.
Is it spelled Y-E?
It's Y-I.
Oh,
Okay.
So Yi.
Yay.
I thought it was Ye because he's bigger than Jesus.
And so let's see here. They're the heirs to the ninja skills and weapons of the original 4 turtles. With Splinter long dead, spoiler, they've been raised by April O'Neil and her daughter, Casey Marie, who is, of course, Casey Jones is her father.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. What do you guys think about adding... It's like Saved by the Bell, the new class. You're just essentially mixing in new turtles for the next generation.
I'll say, Kevin Eastman, you've shown incredible restraint. The fact that, like...
That it's happening now?
The fact that it's happening, like, 30, 40 years later, like, come on. No one should be complaining
Well,
about
now to
this.
be fair, we had a shotgun blast of new characters with the TV show, like with the toy line and all that.
But there weren't new, like, mainline heroes, right?
None that were like turtles.
I mean-
except for Spike and
Jenica.
Jenica. Jenica was new, and then
That sounded like you were thinking of a lost love.
I know. I was like,
Oh, Jenica.
I told you not to bring her name up.
did Jenica trigger something?
Well,
in
and
you?
then wasn't there like
Venus de Milo.
Venus was the one from the TV show,
Correct.
and I don't know if anyone remembers Venus, but her design was like she had like a breastplate.
Yeah.
Like
she had turtle titties.
right. The eternal anatomy.
Tittles.
They don't.
Turdies.
They don't. We're not doing this. This ain't. I know it's your birthday, but we're not spinning on this bit. We're gonna paint ourselves into a real corner.
We're sorry.
It just blew my mind that they had to like make that so they could tell this is a woman turtle,
Right.
And this is and these are male turtles. But they didn't give like cod pieces like for the male turtles.
Yeah, that is goofy.
Where was I going with? Oh, anyway, new 4 turtles. I thought it was noteworthy to throw in the show.
Yeah.
Sorry, I sound gruffer than usual because my son sneezed in my face a week and a half ago, and
Yeah, right. You're just getting over it.
I'm just getting over a Teddy cold.
Yep.
And then this is primarily Mike D news. The fall of X titles have been revealed
X stuff.
because you are the resident X head.
I'm a freak for X.
And Sins of Sinister just started this week or last week.
Last week.
Last week, we got it here. We're going to cover on the show. And so we're going to have some books that are going to spin out from that and some new books that essentially appear to be wrapping up or predicting the fall of Krakoa and the Jonathan Hickman X era.
Lately, I've been considering one of the things I do organizationally with my comics, if you'll entertain me for a bit while I go on a spiel here, is once I have enough of something in my larger run of Marvel boxes, I'll pull it out into its own sub-filing focused specifically on like the Spider-Man family of comics and then the X-Men family of comics. I have so many X-Men comics now that I'm thinking about pulling out Krakoan era comics into their own series of boxes.
Right.
And for that to happen, I need there to be an end in sight. You know what I mean?
Well, the name like the Fall of X, you may be getting.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get it, but we'll see. It could be a thing where like the X-Men live on Krakoa for another 10 years, and then that's just not going to be sustainable or a way for me to break up those issues. But
I think
I'm thinking about it.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah,
I mean, you
it's
have so
gestating.
many
I kind
damn
of
X books.
as much as I love all the titles that are a part of it, and this has been really fun. I'm kind of ready for
It to be done.
well, just something to change or happen, or like some sort of comeuppance. Just I'm a big like Sentinels, Nimrod, Mother Mold. Like I love all that stuff, and ever since Powers of 10, that was like hugely promised that we were going to get all kinds of Nimrod and Mother Mold sort of drama. And every year there's like 2 or 3 comics that are like, hey, remember Nimrod's still around.
Right.
Remember Orcus is still
Working in the shadows.
Working in the shadows. Exactly right. But I'm like, man, let's get to that stuff.
Well, you may be getting your wish. So this summer, 4 one-shots will be coming out that like herald.
Yeah, it's like
The
a
Fall of
prelude
X.
into that era.
So
yeah.
it's called Before the Fall. So the first book is X-Men Before the Fall, Sons of X, written by Cy Spurrier, and the art and cover are by Phil Noto.
Oh, yep. Soul.
Yeah.
Insta-buy.
As they say online. The next book is called X-Men Before the Fall, Heralds of Apocalypse by Al Ewing and Luca Pizzari.
The cover of that made me want to purchase it. Like, I saw these 4 books, and that was the one I was like, I have to get that at least.
Yeah, because Apocalypse has been off with his family somewhere, and we haven't seen him since Swords? Is that right?
Yeah. So Swords of X brought in Araco to the fold, and then he's with all of his horsemen and children.
So dope.
Yep. He left the council. I loved that storyline. It was fun. I love how it was like did some like major big time stuff for the X universe, but also had a lot of levity.
It also Sword it kind of promised something that it didn't deliver on. And like not in a bad way, but like
a giant sword fight.
yeah. You thought everyone they did go on these quests to like get these swords,
Yeah.
but there wasn't any real
Yeah, I
huge
thought
thing.
I thought it was going to be like an epic battle, but it was more like fun games of chance.
right.
So when those games of chance like happened, it really subverted your expectations, I think, because you were thinking like wartime battle fight. But part of that's I think why people were maybe a little disappointed in that event, just because it wasn't what people were expecting.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
I liked it, but I get why people didn't.
It's because you're a big brain.
Needed more swords.
Not enough swords. The next book is X-Men Before the Fall, Mutant First Strike by Steve Orlando and Valentina Pinti. And the final book would be X-Men Before the Fall, Sinister 4 by Kieran Gillen and Paco Medina. So look forward to those this summer. 4 one-shots to precursor the Fall of X. We assume the end of the Jonathan Hickman era. So what a time to be alive.
It sounds like they're probably going to cancel a bunch of books and relaunch a bunch of number 1s, right? With Fall of X.
I think what they may do is like the sovereignty of Krakoa will crumble, and like either the drug that they have been making has adverse effects or like stops working or something.
Interesting.
But like mutants will probably be like, I don't know,
Ostracized again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Well, they're setting the stage for kind of the political aspects of it to crumble,
Yeah.
where a lot of people are getting their medicines on the black market now,
Yeah.
and they can't manage it, and they make some sort of like waiting queue for bring back normal humans to life, so
Right.
Yeah.
people can continue to live, and it's like sharing those gifts kind of opens up like the conversation of who gets what. People with a lot of money and a lot of power are going to want that.
Right.
And it's going to get nasty quick. So it seems like for a while they've been setting the stage for things to get like a little sloppy and crumble there.
More time on Mars. That's all I say. Just move them. Go all to Mars.
Well, part of me
Yeah.
wonders if like I don't think the Mars thing is sustainable, and they killed a lot of the Araco population during Axe.
Yeah.
So they might be getting rid of
My Mars planet?
Araco, I think.
It'd be dope if at the end of Fall of X, they just like gave the mutants Mars. Like if Mars became Genosha,
Yeah.
where
Sure.
that's their place, and then like the X books just became like adventures
The
in
ultimate
space.
form of like segregation. It's like, no, you just have your own planet and get the hell out of here.
Sure. I mean, that's what I'm saying though, right? Like that plays into the whole X-Men theme
Sure, yeah.
of them being ostracized. But imagine if like Marvel Cosmic just became the realm of mutants.
There's just like the
The lesson is that like people will never be tolerant.
Yeah.
so just go to a different planet.
So yeah, go to a different planet if you want to finally be at peace.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna learn you go to another planet, and then people are gonna be nasty there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't escape hate, you find out.
Right. Yeah.
That's the last lesson you learn on your deathbed.
Wonderful.
And then that's all the news I had was the X stuff, the James Gunn stuff, and the new Turtle stuff.
I was kind of wondering what Chris Claremont would think about Professor X kind of being a real SOB lately. And he's never really been like a completely altruistic guy. Like he's kind of been like a fallible character, fallible.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one.
For
It's our show. We can say it however.
for a long time, but part of me also thinks that maybe he should be one of those Superman-esque characters that his vision for like peace and equality is like never shaken, and he's always like a super altruistic character.
I think that's kind of what Nightcrawler is.
Yeah,
for
Nightcrawler
the
plays
Nightcrawler
X-Men.
totally is that.
Mhm.
Like, especially with like Way of X.
Yeah.
Great book.
Yeah, super good. But that's, he's the guy, like the true north, the
right.
heart of the team, whatever. I think Professor X, given the stuff that he's done in the past, is past that point. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really like rein back in some of the stuff,
Yeah.
even in the current like Krakoan thing,
Yeah.
kind of irredeemable. But I think Nightcrawler is just the one that jumps to mind. But I think there are characters in the X canon that could be that,
Yeah.
especially if you put them on like the main team,
Mm-hmm.
some sort of idealistic whoever.
I love that like Jean Grey left the Krakoan Council because she's like the politics of this aren't giving me a place where I can like be that altruistic type of person that I am.
Yeah.
I need to be on like a hero team saving people because that's my identity. And even though you realize that like you're sacrificing power and influence over this like greater power, it's like I can't live with myself being in a position where I'm a part of the politics of this.
And therein
Because
lies the
it's-
problem with politics in general.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, there's just some good commentary in a lot of the X books and the council stuff lately that
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
if you would have given me these comics as a kid, I would have been like, I hate the council scenes. But as an adult, it's like, man, like the council like arguments are fantastic writing.
Yeah.
But that's why we have Jerry Duggan's X-Men title.
Yeah.
With like that's what the
Yeah.
that's where all the good juicy stuff is for kids and people who want to see
Yeah.
heroes being heroes.
Totally.
And
And then you get Kieran Gillen writing
yeah,
Immortal X-Men.
the real shit.
And yeah. It's like all council meetings.
and I've always loved how, you know, as you grow older, you find out that Professor X and Magneto, you know, you're always taught that they're like two sides of a coin, but really they're the same side of the coin.
Yeah.
But Professor X is more of the hypocrite, and like Magneto is the one is just like the right one.
Yeah.
and the who tells the truth.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
How it is.
Certainly in the Krakoan era,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely side with Magneto a lot more than I do.
He's super just like pragmatic and just like, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, you see Professor X inch closer to Beast, who has always kind of been like, maybe a little too willing to be a bad guy. And like he's like super poisoned right. That character in particular is like super poisoned right now.
Yeah.
But Professor X is definitely like tiptoeing into that bad guy direction.
Well, I think Beast is having the flop era, if you will, of like Reed Richards. Like you get to a point where you have this mass amount of intelligence and ability to make whatever you want.
It's like way too jaded.
Yeah, and like you see like the right way and how the world should be, and like it's like you lose focus of humanity and like letting people live their lives and like make mistakes and whatever. And it's just like, no, if you did this, everything would be fine. And like, no, we're not gonna use money. It's all gonna be crypto. It's like we got to do this, and like it turns you evil.
Yeah, we got to take away everyone's free will.
Yeah,
That's the,
yeah.
that's the
Why
solution.
can't you all be
to
robots? God damn it!
To push up my glasses here a little bit, it's Ozymandias, right?
Yes,
From Watchmen.
Yeah.
Right? He's the smartest man in the world. He knows where humanity, big air quotes, should be, and takes things into his own hands to get them there.
right. And the problem with that is like their version of morality or right and wrong is based like so far on like the spectrum of like mathematical correctness or like like scientific correctness, where it's just like there's no abstract reasoning or like improvisation of like how to live your life. It's just like by the books, black and white. Why can't you all be robots? God damn it!
All we have to do is kill 1 million people. Oh, what?
Yeah, say again. Hold on.
The interesting thing is with Watchmen and why it still holds up so well is that they went ahead and did like the bad guy won,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and everyone was like,
Oops.
"Well, the damage is done. We might as well like not spoil the goal that this guy was trying to reach."
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And everyone went along with it. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, I still love that.
Oh,
book.
yeah.
That
It's a
book.
great
It's
book,
so
yeah.
fucking good.
Which is almost as like, why hasn't like Professor X and like Ultron linked up? You know, like because
Dude, yeah.
I mean, like Ultron and like Reed Richards kind of want the same thing.
Uh-huh.
Just you know, one is a little more violent than the other, but I mean, ultimately they have the same end goal.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of you've got Danger as a character. That was like the sentient danger room.
Oh, yeah.
Oh right,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And then in one of the I think it's one of the X-Force storylines, one of the like helmets that backs up everybody kind of becomes sentient or something.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Are you thinking of Phantom X's ship? Because he's
I don't think so.
okay. Well,
Maybe though. I don't know.
because Phantom X has like 3 brains, and one of them is external and lives inside of his spaceship,
Oh,
Okay.
and is like its own character inside of Uncanny X-Force.
nice.
I'm always confused, but
Like
there's
Kit
5
from Knight Rider.
Yeah. But if Knight Rider was also Kit or Richard Knight or whatever his name was.
Where's that TV show?
All right. Sorry for the long X diversion, everybody. Are we still going on it?
No.
We're still in it.
The one little piece of news I wanted to talk about, we don't have to talk about it for long because it's very divisive, but
How old is Mike D?
no. Jim Steranko.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't think it's divisive.
I mean, it's not.
It's pretty straightforward.
But what I wanted to talk about was, do I get this signed at Planet?
Oh, you got one of these.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I got it's beat up. There's a big tear in the bottom.
Yeah.
But I got a
And
Nick
just like
Fury
Jim.
Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 4.
It presents well.
It looks great on a wall. I got it for $20.
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
That's worth it.
Classic Steranko cover.
I love this cover.
And Roy Thomas wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, both going to be at Planet.
Both going to be at Planet. My consternation with it is, do I give Jim Steranko $20 and stand in front of him and say, hey, sign this?
Don't talk.
Yeah, right. I don't like anything about you, like,
Yeah.
as a person.
Man,
I don't want to give him money. Like,
so what we're referring to is...
I also bought something just for him to sign because I didn't have anything he did in good enough condition.
Uh-huh.
So I'm in a very similar boat,
Yeah.
Vargas.
So let's bring the audience up to speed. Jim Steranko is a legendary artist
Mm-hmm.
in the comic book industry.
Yeah.
Any character you can think of, he's probably drawn it.
He was doing double digits X-Men,
Right.
well known for the Nick Fury Shield run.
and if you're picturing classic Captain America and it's not Jack Kirby,
Then it's Steranko.
it's Steranko.
Yep.
And if you haven't ever seen a picture of him, imagine if Stan Lee and Hugh Hefner went through the same time machine that Jeff Goldblum and The Fly did
Yeah.
in The Fly, and then they came out as one person, and that is what Jim Steranko looks like.
He's a rotisserie chicken with shatter teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, he's quite the sight to behold. And this isn't a recent thing. This has been 4 or 5 years. This has been kind of
Yeah.
bubbling under the surface. He's come out and said some pretty
Racist.
racist things.
Yeah, you don't have to beat around the bush with it. It's
and
racist.
And COVID has only fueled that
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And so now we get into the existential discussion of, can you separate the artists from the art?
Well, for me, it goes beyond that, right? Because it's like, I can read a Jim Steranko comic and still enjoy it. Okay, fine, right?
I
My
think so too. I'm not going to let like years of Captain America stories be ruined for me because
Right.
Okay.
a guy's and who I don't know if he's changed a lot since that time, you know. He's like 85.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like there was a while where he said a couple things that I was like, he's an 85-year-old guy. But
Yeah.
the most recent stuff he's been saying, I
Yeah.
was like, I think Vargas, you might have said too that like this is not. You can't give someone like the old man excuse
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
for this because it's a little too far now.
I mean, my problem is I don't want to hand the guy $20 to sign a comic. That
Yeah.
like is literally tacitly agreeing or giving a pass to the bullshit
Sure.
that he said.
And even more so, I mean, how do you as Planet Comic-Con invite him back to
Right.
a con?
Right.
It's a tough thing, and I'm glad I don't have to make that decision, because if it was me, I would be the one being like, we can't have this guy
Yeah.
at the con.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's a tough decision. I don't have an answer for you
Right. I know.
on if you should or shouldn't get that signed.
It's another thing where like, do you separate the art from the artist? You know, and
But in that case, like, okay, do we separate Ethan Van Sciver? I gave you guys first appearance of Glob and Stepford Cuckoos,
yeah.
both co-created by Ethan Van Sciver. If
Yeah.
he was at Planet, would you go give him $10 to sign those books?
No, I wouldn't go 10 feet.
That's what I'm saying.
Near that guy.
Right?
Yeah.
But
It's tough.
it is tough. And I almost was just like, well, it's different. It's not really that different, except that Steranko has been around longer than
Yeah.
Evan von Schreiber.
Yeah.
Has had a more illustrious career.
Right. I mean, fundamentally, the argument is I disagree with things that you've said and things that you believe. And
Right.
do I or do I not want to push those feelings down and hand you money.
Yep.
What if you have him sign it and then tell him all that?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jim, will you sign this? Hey,
You're a shitbag.
Stop being racist.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see for me, it's like I bought a Captain America book that like introduced Madam Hydra and a handful of things. It's like a reprint of whatever that Cap issue is because the original's way too expensive.
Yeah.
But I love those old Captain America issues, and I associate him with those issues, and he's not going to be around much longer. And it's like, it would be cool to have his signature on something like that. The wild thing is that you associate Captain America with anti-racism.
Yeah.
right.
Like, to me, that's like instrumental into who the character is. And when you grew up reading these comic books and finding, new back issues and all these stories, you soak in so much of your moral compass through these archetypes and stories and heroes. And that's what makes it extra baffling to see someone who worked on those things that like made me the person I am be such a shithead that I feel so opposed to.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully, he didn't write any of them.
But he's like, no, he didn't. He just did you're right. He did the art.
That'd be a different Captain America.
But like, I mean,
but it's hard for me too because I don't have anything signed by him. I was really looking forward to getting something signed by him this year, and I'm in the exact same boat. And you're right. I don't want to give him $20, but he's as far as comic books go, he's one of the like last living legends.
Yeah,
that's just like, I mean, double digit. He did that like famous cover of Polaris on X-Men 50.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been around for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Like
and
the guys who worked with Jack Kirby.
Right.
Yeah.
And like came up with these like instrumental classics. Like there's not many of them left. And he's one of them.
But like whatever. We could talk in circles about this, but like
we could.
We're not going to solve racism tonight.
I think where we stand right now is that we don't want to give this guy any of our money, and it sucks to have someone who could have been a hero and could have made something special to you even more special by signing it.
Yeah.
It's ruined by the fact that he's racist.
Do you have any counterfeit money?
Now there's an idea.
Can you bamboozle them?
Yeah, I like that.
Get a little inkjet printer, print off some fake $20 bills.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like that idea.
it's tough, and it's a conversation that has to be had with a lot of creators.
If you can get him to write, "I'm sorry, I tweeted racist things" on the comic,
on my Nick Fury 4.
I'm nigh invulnerable when I'm tweeting. Jim Stranecco, my B.
Sorry, Roy.
Yeah.
Then Roy signs underneath it.
Pete Rose did a series of baseballs he signed that says, "I'm sorry, I bet on baseball." He wrote on the side.
That's hysterical.
Yeah.
I want one of those and a Ripken fuckface card. Any other news, or should we move right on the comic books?
No, we've got like 12 minutes left in this episode. We can go over, but just an FYI on time.
Just a tad over. I only have 2 books to cover. I read Black Tape from AWA by Dan Panosin and Dalibor Talajic. It is about a rock and roll god who wrote a song that forever changed his career, and he died, and like the book shifts to his widow grieving him and everyone trying to console her, and then and you think that's just gonna be it. It's just like a guy dies, people are kind of going after the widow for rights to the song, trying to butter her up, get on her good side, and then the very last 2 pages of the book totally flips, and she finds a secret room behind a fireplace, with all this like demonic worshiping paraphernalia.
Hell yeah.
Oh, so he sold his soul to get the song.
That's what we're led to believe.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of a Robert Johnson situation here where he sold his soul to the devil
Living
to-
down to Georgia.
to write this incredible song that could change everything. And so,
That's dope.
yeah, it was a very standard story. And then like the last 3 pages, I was just like, God damn it, I'm in. You son of a bitch, you've done
You
it.
got me.
I'm in. Let's go. And so that was Black Tape out on AWA. I was super pumped to read it. And then I read Bloodline, Daughter of Blade out on Marvel by Danny Lore, Karen DeBow, and Chris Peter.
That had some cool covers.
How many covers did it have? I think 1,000. 1,000 covers.
More than Eternals or less than Eternals?
Less.
Yeah.
For sure, less.
And it was good. It was the introduction of Blade's daughter. This isn't. I don't think this is her first appearance.
Nope.
That happened.
This is her third appearance, I think.
But this is like, just like her new adventure of like being the daughter of Blade and hunting down vampires, just like her daddy.
Cool.
And
If it becomes a big character, this will be an issue to have. Because a lot of times you get those like first appearances and maybe a second appearance that precede like a first solo title.
Yeah.
Like Miss Marvel was that way, the Kamala Khan Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
And that Kamala Khan #1 is a book that people
yeah,
really like and really
they go after that.
go after. I could see this being an MCU character for sure.
Oh, yeah.
By I don't know.
I think they're hoping.
Well, they're doing a Blade movie or something, right?
Mahershala Ali is going to be Blade.
And that's so fucking
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But you could totally see a spin-off show with a teenager. People would love that.
I would love to see
Buffy in the MCU.
Yeah,
I would love
right.
to see Bloodline like on the Champions. Just like
Hell yeah, man.
just like what the hell is she doing here? And she's just like a giant ass sword cutting down zombies.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Blade's an Avenger right now, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
it would totally work. I love it.
It's so getting back to the book, it just follows her like through her everyday life. There wasn't any real vampire action until the end, where she gets into the weird predicament, and then Blade's called to help out his daughter and save her from vampire shenanigans.
We're gonna have to get you a shot of whiskey or something. to
I
clear
need a
that
hot
throat up.
toddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I've lost my voice. I'm out for the episode, so boys, take her off.
I read Gangster-Ass Barista by Pat Shand. It is a spin-off of Destiny New York. He did all those books originally as Kickstarter exclusives, and then they slowly made their way to Black Mask, and that was the same case with Gangster-Ass Barista. But really fun story. So I know it's been out there for a little bit, and it's been a Kickstarter like add-on bonus for all of his series, but finally in print. Really fun story. You don't need to have read Destiny New York to enjoy it. It just exists in that world. So I recommend it. It's kind of like a young woman who's a whippersnapper, badass, working in a coffee shop, and has kind of gotten out of a crime scene and then gets like kind of forced back into it by some happenstance. And really, really fun read. Pat Shand is like quickly becoming a writer that I
Really?
like anything he writes. I'm like, yep, sign me up.
I know nothing about Destiny.
Yeah.
But I have seen it on the shelves. It's like kind of how Strangers in Paradise used to be for me. It exists. I want to get into it.
Yeah.
I don't know where or how. This may be a good entry point for me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great thing because you can read this first issue of the Barista book as if it were a one-shot and see if you like his writing style. I know you would. But if you want to read all of Destiny New York really cheap, the next time Pat Shand does a Kickstarter, just be on the lookout for it because you can always do like
add-ons or whatever.
the digital bundle add-ons
Yeah.
and get like all the past volumes for like $20 digital or something like that.
Read that on my Kindle.
Yeah. I haven't even read them all. When they started coming to Black Mask, I started buying the individual issues and then I lost track of them somewhere. But I really liked the first like 5-6 issues.
Fuck yeah.
Yep. Maybe we'll buy some trades and split them or something.
Really? You do that for me?
Sure.
Hell yeah.
I am shocked that neither of you guys talked about this. I read Sins of Sinister, #1.
Well, there's a reason. He doesn't get his shipment for like another week.
Mine's coming tomorrow.
Okay.
And mine also comes like in a couple of weeks.
This is about hot ass Mr. Sinister, sexy as hell
Always
Mr.
hot.
Sinister, and his machinations. I don't want to spoil anything, but his machinations on Krakoa.
Now, those are like the cookies with the filling, right?
Yeah, that's
machinations.
That's a machination. You got it. The different colors.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have read like, so I think Immoral X-Men has been or is it Immortal X-Men? There was an Immoral X-Men,
There was not an immoral X-Men.
or there is going to be
There's
one.
gonna be one.
There's going to be one. Okay.
Sounds like a
So-
sexy fan fiction of an X-Men book.
Let me check the back of this. I think that's a Sins of Sinister tie.
Yeah. So Immortal X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
Immoral X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immortal leads into Sins of Sinister in the last issue I read anyway. And I don't know if you read that book, but there was this amazing issue where Nathaniel Essex finds out he can use Moira clones to reset, like basically create time bombs
Yeah.
and reset to like specific points in time.
Correct.
And so he repeatedly goes back and back and back, trying to figure out how he can kill as many members of the Quiet Council as possible. And you just watch him do it like 8 times in a row throughout one issue until he causes like enough damage where he's killed the right people that he can be happy with to get away with basically what's going to happen in Sins of Sinister.
Yeah, and that pays off in this.
Yes.
They explain that in here.
Do they? Okay.
Thank God.
In case you haven't read that. Yeah.
Because I didn't read any of that. But it's a great book. It really, I think what's going to end up happening is them focusing on these different areas because it's all spin-off books,
Yeah.
right? But this specific book kind of shows how like Mr. Sinister went through all this plotting and nonsense stuff, and then it backfires on him ultimately.
Yeah.
You know, the foils of
Oh, the hubris.
yeah,
of-
exactly. Hubris
Sinister.
is his downfall. So, I think saying anything beyond that is going to spoil it. This is a really good book, though. It's Kieran Gillen, so you know what you're going to get there. I am not an X person. The only X book I'm reading is X-Men Red,
Yeah.
which I'm enjoying a lot. But this was great. I picked it up because I want to read that Nightcrawler's book.
Hell fucking
Yeah,
yeah.
looks good.
So, but this first issue sold me on the rest of them. I'm going to get all the spinoffs. And there's only 12 or 13
Issues, not spinoffs.
Issues. Yeah, sorry, issues. All in the back.
Isn't
there,
one like
so-
Storm and the Brotherhood?
Yep, Storm, that came out this week. Nightcrawler's Immoral X-Men, and then it ends with Sins of Sinister Dominion. So,
Okay, can you answer this for me? Do
Yeah.
we get any Chimera X-Men or like the mixed up clones that like combine people in this issue?
Nightcrawler shows up.
Okay.
The Nightcrawler. So, you get to see a little bit of it.
All right,
We'll
cool.
get a little taste, maybe.
Yeah, a little teaser.
Right on.
The other thing I wanted to update real quick on is
Oh, this is like the Minute War.
1 Minute War Flash
So cool.
too. So if anybody remembers from last time, this confirms some things for me. The alien race that crashes does control the Speed Force.
Aha.
So the Flash family is able to move in double speed inside of while everybody else is paused.
Yeah.
And this just sets up more of the stuff. It's still really great. If anybody has any kind of inkling, I'm kind of interested in the Flash, go out and get it. I'm sure 791 is the one that came out. 93 comes out next week. I'm sure 790 is still on the shelves
Yeah.
if you want to go grab it. But it's still good after 2 issues.
So where are these aliens from?
We don't know yet.
Have you seen them?
We have.
What do they look like?
Folks, just regular dudes.
Oh,
They've got funny colored skin.
okay. Well, there you go.
Are they from inside the Speed Force?
We don't know yet. That's what I'm kind of interested in finding out.
Mhm.
But yeah, for sure, it takes place over the course of like 1 minute.
That's
in-
still
in
a
Earth time.
fantastic concept for a
Yeah,
comic
I
book.
love that.
So super, super dope.
All right. That's an episode, as we say here on First Issue Club.
We're always saying that.
That's our catchphrase. You didn't say your catchphrase at the beginning of the episode.
Nah, I bailed on it.
As I said mine.
You know what? I really,
TGIFIC.
I really like you. For a while, you were doing Until Next Time, Bag and Boredom,
Mhm.
or something. I like that.
Okay.
That's a good sign off.
Well, we'll end with that.
Okay.
But remember, go to patreon.com/First Issue Club for more First Issue Club content. We're on every social media platform you can think of. We actually got kicked off of LinkedIn because we didn't have any past work history on there. Apparently, they want that. And until next time, remember to bag and boredom.
Bye. First Issue Club is edited and produced by Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. Follow us on social media at First Issue Club, and check out our Patreon for videos, audio, and more at patreon.com/First Issue Club.